Well, thanks guys. Welcome to the foothills in Colorado. In the winter, this place is covered in snow, which makes this wagon with all-wheel drive, the V90 from Volvo, the perfect vehicle. But if you want a sedan version of this, well, they have that available too. All right, we're inside the brand new Volvo S90, and today my drive partner is Harvey. And Harvey, you do ride and drives.
Rides and drives, yes.
Rides and drives, and we can find your stuff at ridesanddrives.com, right?
That's it.
Excellent. We've been friends for a while. We hasten not to add old friends because clearly both of us are under 35.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah, it comes in 4 different trim levels and 3 different engines. So a T5, a T6, and a T8.
Right, and the T5 is a 4-cylinder with just turbocharging.
Right.
The T6 is...
Which is we're driving right now.
Which is what we're driving, is a 4-cylinder with turbocharging and supercharging.
And then the T8, which is 400 horsepower.
Yes, because it adds hybrid electric drive too.
Right, a plug-in hybrid electric drive.
Yes.
The cool thing about these cars is the XC60,
yep,
the S90 and the V90 get the same engines and the same technology,
right,
and the same safety.
Yeah, it's Volvo has decided that having these features across all the cars provides the safety that you want, that everyone deserves, regardless of what class of car they buy. But it also adds manufacturing efficiencies and all those other things.
Let's talk about how this vehicle is on the inside. Large, very much like a vertical iPad in the center of the screen. Really nicely laid out. I find that the whole idea of the start, everything from the start button through to the steering wheel, the controls, love the thin TFT screen instead of having gauges in front of the driver, giving you navigation in the center of that. That's an absolute must in these cars.
It's really nicely configurable too, so you can change it how you like it.
The other thing that they've made very clear in the last few years is when they go to autonomy, Volvo will take full responsibility for their vehicles. They were the first company to do that, saying, you know, we are responsible for these vehicles, and that's...
Yeah, it won't be the
great.
Suppliers of the
Right.
technology or the other things. We're going to make sure it works, and the buck stops here.
That makes me feel so good about somebody owning it. Volvo,
yeah,
we own it.
Yep.
And safety is like the huge thing for them, the big thing. All of the safety technology that Volvo is famous for. They are a safety company. They did experiment with performance, but they decided that luxury and safety was much more their game. Big things for them. Don't want the accidents. They are trying to avoid accidents. They are trying to take out the one thing in driving which causes more accidents than anything else. 90% of accidents caused by the human being.
That's it.
Human, as a Ferengi would say. Now for 2018, they increased the length of the V90 by 4.5 inches in legroom. I had loads of room before when the seat was all the way back. Now, I got loads more. I
do like the overall Scandinavian feel, the openness, the simplicity of it.
The other thing that we should mention is the seats. They noticed when people were running off-road that one of the biggest injuries caused was spinal injuries. And so they have put crumple zones in their seats. Maybe the first people to do that.
Right, underneath the seat. So if you come off a ditch and hit down hard, it'll actually collapse underneath you and take up some of that shock, so it doesn't go right to your spinal column.
And that's great, because I like my spine just the way it is. Thank you very much.
You can't afford to be any shorter, Nick.
Yeah,
so.
Really. I would benefit from the rack.
There you go.
Being stretched out on the rack. We're in Colorado right now. We left Cherry Creek in Denver this morning, and we're driving out to the mountains. The great thing about this is it gives you a lot of open highway, a lot of open roads to test the vehicle's performance. But when you get into the foothills around Denver, you get the opportunity to test the steering of the car and see how responsive it is. And so far, have really enjoyed that. Now the design up front of the V90 is very Volvo. The very Volvo grille, the Thor's hammers lights, but what's really cool is back here. Right up to the B-pillar here, this vehicle is exactly the same from front to back as the S90. But from here on to the end of the vehicle, this is where it's different. All right, Harvey, well, we've jumped into the V90, which is the wagon version of this vehicle, and I can't tell any difference.
Certainly not from this vantage point. There's very little difference.
It drives very similarly. It's a great piece of machinery, but I got a lot of space in the back. When I look in the mirror, I can actually get a different view from I got in the S90.
Right.
The back is opened up. But again, it's an identical vehicle, just from the B-pillar back, it has that extra chunk on the end.
That's right.
The trunk in this thing, absolutely enormous. I could get all my dogs in here and more. Now the starting price of the Volvo V90, which is the wagon, is around $50,000. The S90, which is the sedan, is around $48,000. And the EPA have not yet rated this vehicle for fuel economy. I'm Nick Miles.